Hi guys, welcome to Love Story. If you are a Christian and you're following Jesus or trying to or desire to, and you have kids or you just were wondering, about breastfeeding in public and if it's okay or, if you're seeing this movement, that's been going around about just people being free and able to breastfeed out in public, but most people that I see are not covering up. So I just wanted to talk about this because, I believe and I see like behind the people in that movement, I see pride behind it. And people are like, I can breastfeed if I want to, I can do what I want, and blah blah blah, and it's my body and my baby and blah blah blah. And I think it's a really good thing that people want to give their baby real natural food, instead of the powder stuff. I think that's great. The women that are blessed to have an abundance of milk for their babies. But if you are a Christian, the way you want to dress is modesty. When you're out in public or if you have guests over your house, you want to be modest and mindful of others. So, when you're breastfeeding, I think that it should be the same. I don't think there should be, a difference just because you're feeding someone, just like, God gave us sex, for example. But that doesn't mean you go and you have sex in public or on videos or just with whoever. They're, literally everything that God made and created has gotten perverted. So that's why people do have sex outside of marriage, or have sex with the same sex, or have sex with animals, or have sex with children. Things that are against God's design, things that are an abomination to God. So naturally, we use things that God's created and we pervert it. And so, I just wanted to talk about this because the Bible, like in Song of Songs or Song of Solomon, it talks about, it's this relationship that's going back and forth between a man and a woman, and they're talking about each other in sexual loving ways, and it's very, very explicit. And the man talks about the woman's breasts, and he's attracted to them, and he wants them, and God made them and designed them and for pleasure, and he made sex and stuff for pleasure, and he also made breast for milk for babies. So we don't want to pervert that and let them all hang out. We want to be mindful, and this is why we want to be mindful. For Christians, we actually care about how our behaviors are, or how we're dressing affects other people, how we're acting affects other people. So for example, some people are struggling sexually, and you don't want to be a stumbling block to them. Some people are single, some people just have a sex addiction, whether they're married or not. So you're tempting someone. And I'm not saying like, you have to, because I know like women and men and people and things, they can be sexualized as objects. But this is not what I'm talking about. I'm not saying, you have to cover your whole body from head to toe and only your eyes show. But, as images of God, we are created in his image. So we want to show our image, our humanhood. But we want to be mindful and be modest and not, expose our goods to the world around us. And, we don't want to expose children. to these things because they are human. And, especially like 10-year-old kids, their hormones are developing. That's when some start to really, learn about sexuality, and, things begin to awaken in people around that age, or maybe even younger. So, what you really want to do is love your neighbor as yourself. So, for example, just another, perspective is that, like, I drink wine personally. Now, I went 7 years without drinking wine because I used to be an alcoholic. So when God delivered me from alcoholism, which it was mainly liquor, but I didn't want to drink. But then when, through the years, you learn the Bible, you learn Jesus, you learn love, you learn God. And, I was like, well, I don't want to get drunk, so I'll be fine drinking some wine. And I learned about, the bad things about wine, but I learned, through scripture, but I learned the good things about wine. And there is a scripture in the New Testament to where it says, drink a little wine for your stomach, for your bellyache. So, or for just your belly, wine has very good health benefits. But, and this is the point I'm trying to make, is that I just drink wine at home, or between me and my husband, or, when we're out to eat, just me and him, or with certain people. But I will not drink it in a big group setting because I don't know who's struggling with alcohol. I don't know who used to struggle with alcohol. And I don't even want to bring myself to be like, I want alcohol so much, or I want this wine so much, that I'm going to ask them, like, hey, do you mind if I drink? Like, maybe one day I might do that, but I don't, I rather just stay away from that, if I'm with certain people. Like, I just, you know what I mean? So, another thing is, okay, so we want to love our neighbor and do unto others as we would want people to do to us. So, just be mindful. I'm trying to think of, I know some people are like, well, I don't mind if people are nursing in front of me, and that's fine, but everybody doesn't have that. You know what I mean? Like, I have a son, and when we're in public and I see that, I'm like wanting to cover my son's eyes. I don't want him to see that yet. And, yes, I would nurse my daughter in front of him and stuff like that. And I think all of that is fine in public if you have like a blanket or a cloth or something to put over, and that's what they used to do. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with nursing your baby in public. Just do it modestly and be mindful. If you're a Christian, you want to dress modestly anyway in front of people. So I hope that brings, just maybe a different perspective if you never thought of it that way. And just being mindful of others. That's the point, is to be mindful of others. If you're a Christian, you want to do that. So take care and have a blessed day, guys.